is Aaron Collier, and I'm presenting to his audience of 5 people. All right, my presentation is the history of drugs and rock and roll. So, I'm going to be covering a few eras. I should mention that drug use has definitely been rampant before the ones I'm mentioning, but I'm really just going to be focusing on 60s, 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And then I'll do a bit about the late 90s, also known as the rehab years. This is the first major event that I'll be covering. It's Woodstock, definitely the defining moment of the 60s, and one of the defining parts of it was how much LSD use was, how much end use LSD was. It's also known as the psychedelic era, because at this point, everything from shrooms to LSD was in full effect. The Beatles had gone from a lovable boy band to their more experimental years, and the Grateful Dead became popular. Harvard professors such as Timothy Leary were suggesting that everyone try LSD at least once. And overall, no big names had really passed away at this time. So, what made everyone like LSD so much during this time? Well, there were a lot of issues with the Vietnam War. Not everyone was happy about it. I also believe that it came from the fact that LSD gave people another view of the world and kind of let them step away from their humdrum lives into this world of octopus gardens and yellow submarines. This is Aerosmith, definitely one of the defining bands of the 70s, and known for actively using this drug. Cocaine. Yes, gone are all the peace, love, and happiness days of the 60s, and we're on to the partying all night of the 70s. During this year, Eric Clapton, Aerosmith, and Guns N' Roses all got their starts. We lost names such as Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix. So overall, a few big names gone. So cocaine, what made it so popular? I think generally what happened is after the 60s, where it's just like, we're all looking for peace. Everyone was looking to just liven up. We're destroying hotel rooms. Life doesn't matter after today, because today is the only thing that we're going to remember. After that, the 80s. This is Nikki Sixx, one of the big members of Motley Crue. Definitely one of the biggest users during the 80s. Chase the Purple Dragon. This is when heroin became popular during the 80s. Definitely a big shift from the 70s, where everyone was partying it all up. Bands like Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Motley Crue all got big here. We're also covering the early 90s. And with that change in drug, also changed the tone in music. Gone were the partying and the peace and love. Now we're on to everything sucks, and we're not going to do anything to change that. We're just going to stay here and die. Songs such as Smells Like Teen Spirit, Black Hole Sun, really just hammered home how much this drug is affecting everyone on it. So, from there we go to the late 90s, also known as the rehab years. Whoever survived the last 3 decades, they pretty much stopped drug use. They stopped using drugs, tried to get over it, and tried to survive from there. At this point, the songs about drugs are more like we're trying to stop, rather than we're using it and we're having lots of fun. And, I'm sorry. This is somebody who survived all 3 decades, trying to talk.
Barely. Do not use heroin, cocaine, and LSD.
in use.
Shh. Okay. 1 second. Apologies. Technical difficulties. In conclusion, the three decades are definitely very different from each other, and that can be taken just from the style of music or the style of drug they were using. But overall, there were a lot of dead bodies, and just some broken old people at this point. I'm not sure if the influence they got from the drugs was worth it. Some people say that the influence was more of a crutch than actually helping anyone, but that's not for me to decide. This is just what happened. And that's the end of my presentation.